we're going to take a look at some rigging options with the Phantom Personal Haul Kit today. So we kind of rigged it up already for you, emptied the case out except for the spare anchor is still in here. We're actually using the ERS, so we're just going to clip this in here. So as you can see, we have our main line rigged into the sewn shelf of the ERS. At the distal portion, the legs, is where we actually have our Phantom Personal Haul system. So we actually have it rigged up, obviously, into a 4-to-1 configuration right now. So when we talk about rigging this, there's a couple of different things that we can look at in our system and why we chose what we chose. When we look here, very high efficiency Rock Exotica Aztec pulley on this portion here, which is great because this, if we're rigging it in a hurry and it's tangled, having that swivel on there will allow us to untangle it without having to take it off the rope grab and things like that. When we came up here, we actually switched and we're using a jag on here, and you can see the configuration to where the cam is actually on the haul line portion. So even at rest, if it's holding all of our load at any point before we do a reset, if it's holding all of that weight, this cam and this strand is actually only seeing, in this configuration, in 4-to-1, only 25% of the total weight. So when we look at the D-sheath or the brake strengths of this, this is its strongest configuration, and we're looking in all the testing above 18 to 22 kilonewtons for any kind of D-sheathing. So we aren't going to be seeing that in any of the normal loads that we'll be working on for rescue. The other side that we kind of hear about sometimes is you'll see certain groups that will actually take and go into the Beckett and tie directly in there and remove the Rapide or the Mammalian Rapide, whichever you want to refer to it as, in there. We don't, for a couple reasons. One, we're not losing that much space. Two, we're talking about a Rapide that is fairly inexpensive, but very, very strong. The other side of it is, if we took this out and we tied directly into that, let's say we did a barrel knot or a figure 8 retrace or anything like that, we're actually handcuffing ourselves from other uses for this. So when we look at this, we utilized this system for probably about 3.5 years prior to going to market with Rescue Craft or TACMed, utilizing it within the special operations community for both federal and military. And we're consistently tweaking it until we finally felt really strong where we were at. And we tried a bunch of different configurations of this. What we feel like is if we tie directly in there, it's going to handcuff us from doing other techniques. This is probably going to have to do 100 different things for us, which anybody that's used these set of fours before knows that they do basically 100 different things, from load transfers, from knot passes to pickoffs, to any kind of adjustable changes of directions, to adjustable artificial height directionals when we're bringing somebody up over a 90 to assist with that. Does a whole bunch of things, redirects. So one of the things that we use this for a lot of times, especially if we're going straight down, let's say into an elevator shaft or into a confined space area, is a thing called a quick four. And that is where we actually detach this and put a carabiner and a progressive capture, and we actually have 2 haul lines. So we're going to show an example of that here in a second. But that's the reason we keep this Rapide on there, so we can detach it very quickly without having to untie a knot that actually gets weighted on there. So let's go through some of the configurations just so it's pretty clear. So this is our 4-to-1 configuration. So we have our rope grab down here. We used our other rope grab and carabiner out of the Phantom Haul in as a progressive capture for our main line. And then we have it rigged in the 4-to-1. It's just a quick way to do it without counting tensions on a 4-to-1, is we can just count how many strands are supporting our load being everything beyond this point right there. And we see that we have 4. So we know we're in a 4-to-1 configuration. We're actually in a 4-to-1 with a change of direction. So as we haul on this, this is the technique that we're using as we haul. And then when it comes time to reset, we see that we get slack in our main line as we start hauling. And so we can't reset it here until we take all that slack out. And once we take that slack out, we just pull very softly on here, release that, and it releases the system back onto the main line. And then this is where we're able to advance this up. Now, if we wanted to, and for whatever reason, we had a 2-person load, and let's say we only had 1 hauler, or whatever that circumstance is in, and we feel like we need a little bit higher of mechanical advantage, all we would do is actually switch the orange and the black carabiner spots. So our orange carabiner, where our swivel is located, is actually going to be at our anchor at this point. Then we're just going to take the portion with our progressive capture, and that is actually going to be located at our rope grab portion. So as we rig this up, we can can see now, as we haul, and we want to just count how many lines are supporting our system. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we know we're in a 5-to-1 configuration here. And so now our pull is just simply in that direction right there. As we get slack in our system and we need to change it, we take that slack out of our main line by pushing all that we can up in there. And then at this point, we just pull slightly onto here, release our cam, so that's released onto our main line. Now we have slack in our system, and then we can advance that rope grab. So that's the 4-to-1 and 5-to-1 configuration for the phantom haul. Next, we're going to take a look at how we rig for the quick fours.